I'm gonna include the article that Collider posted, but this is such a weird one. So Tony Gilroy, the person who is working on Andor, is giving credit, saying that it wouldn't even exist. It would not. The show would not even exist without Kathleen Kennedy, because apparently, what I'm assuming is that they're friends. They're friends, and he wants to pass some of the blame around to where she's not shouldering it all. But it's kind of weird because he says that bluntly explained that the series only existed because Kathleen Kennedy protected it. In my mind, Kathleen Kennedy has been one of the single worst things that's ever happened to Disney. Doubling down on stuff that doesn't work, that the fans hate, while seemingly cutting or interfering with shows that are doing well. And he is saying that she gave some input to him that was critical in the show. Like, for instance, when they couldn't get Jimmy Smits, they cast Ben Bratt for Organa. Say, oh, that was all Kathy. Okay. That was a good call. But this article is more telling than anything. It almost suggests that, man, if only they could move her to a position where she could stay behind the scenes and work on little critical details about shows and let other people run them and not constantly fuck up. Like, if it is true, right? Because it could just be he's protecting a friend, and we don't know if this is actually true, whether she actually did any of this, or he's just, whatever, because he's already saying that the Star Wars fans have a habit of targeting women. Like, it's not about targeting women. You know what I mean? So they're already starting off the conversation on, like, oh, well, they're targeting her because she's a woman, right? Like, yeah, that would be a clever way to pass the buck, or like get some excused shit out of the way, right? They say, oh, well, poor old me, I'm a woman, that's why they hate me. It's like, that's not why they hate you. People have repeatedly told you why they hate you. And she got criticism for the Acolyte, fairly deserved. And she's interfered in a bunch of shit. I'll make a longer video on that. But I find it funny that this article, like, why this article even came out, who was pushing this, why did any of this need to be said? Like, what's the deal? I don't even know why she's still involved in Disney, except for the fact that she's got big people like this to take the hit for her when she can't take the hit herself. But she's definitely does this shit that people don't like, right? Like, she just keeps on coming up every time something bad happens in Star Wars. She just keeps on coming up as like one of the people who's like actively dismantling certain things. And like we don't even know all the shit that happens behind, closed doors. Everybody's under stress. Good God. The way that they wrote this, I really hope that's not how it was said. He's our conduit to money, and so that has a lot of happiness and has a lot of friction. So at the same time, you're working together. So you're having very difficult conversations and moments about money. You know, I don't think anyone should be beholden to begging for money to keep your series going. If they canceled Andor, that was on them, right? Because that's what they do like to do with very successful series. They like to say, oh, this very successful series made a bunch of money. Where should we put this money, Kathleen? And she's like, I don't know. Come up with a silly girl show, one that no one likes, maybe something a little something to piss off the fans. You know, like they have this extra money because, you know, one of these series does good. When you look at it, Jon Favreau and all that, all the stuff that he's done, and what do? They ruin it, or they take away from it, and they put it into other projects that won't do good, and they know they won't do good, and they keep trying the same shit over and over, and then it backfires, and they're all the profits that they made get pulled back. But kind of, I don't know, it's kind of silly. And I know, I picked out one article out of thousands, and I'm choosing to focus on it, and that's my own fault for doing that. But I do think that they've done a lot of good stuff with Andor. I love Andor, but I'm not about to sit here and give her all the credit. I don't care if this Tony Gilroy wants to do that. That's not happening. There's no way that this fucking bitch was involved into the degree that he claims, or it would not have turned out good. Even the fact that she's touching stuff, it is to the point where the fans go, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Because they don't want her around anything because of just the cloud of crap that follows her. But, you know, it is, I think, there's a lot of these showrunners and there's a lot of Disney IPs, and they should just give these guys the money, not make them do circus tricks for it, and just let them do their fucking jobs. Because, quite frankly, recently, they've come out, and there's other, I've done other videos on all that stuff, about the stuff that's coming out and the stuff that's already out that you can go watch right now. And they're getting things back on track after like a lot of shit. So I'm excited for the future of Star Wars, but on some level it's like, man, why is this guy basically going before the firing squad for her? But anyway, I will put this article in the description and just let you guys, you know, read it. But man, I gotta tell you, trying to stick up for her when you can't blatantly say you can't stand your fans, constantly rail against them, and do dumb shit, and then expect them not to be angry at an IP that they enjoy. Or when you're just blatantly changing stuff for movies to make things fit, even though it's like there's established lore and established protocols to things, and it shouldn't even be in the films, let alone like. Anyway, I replied to all the comments. If you like the video, subscribe. If you don't, that's totally fine too. Bitch at me in the comments, I'll answer. And I will see you in the next one.